we've got the first main event of the Group 2 of the night with the 50-plus class. The favorite's got to be the number 58 of Davey Durrell, but Dave Kilkenny on number 35. Put some fast laps in, so he may be able to challenge if he can.
Absolutely. And then Jennifer Lewis down there getting us that little insight. And we are getting ready to go with our first main event of Group 2. Davey Durrell sitting on the pole, and he's able to grab the whole shot from the groove. I want to keep track of that tonight and see where all these starts are coming from.
And Davey Durrell has become a specialist off the start. He has put himself into that first spot in the first turn continuously throughout this day's events. But Dave Kilkenny is not going to let him get away. Kilkenny on the number 35, they're already gapping third place a little bit, and Kilkenny's going to try and make a run at Davey Durrell. There's 10 years between them, but a lot of talent, a lot of experience. We'll see what they do out front, and it'll be a good way to set the tone for the main events for this evening.
Dave kept him really honest on that first lap, ended up trying to go around the hot side, but we have a red flag coming on.
So I didn't see what the incident was. Let's see if I may have a rider down there. It looks like a rider's down in turn 3 and 4. They're slowing them down and coming around. We'll see what we have going on.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do have a rider down over there in turn 3.
We'll give it here a second here. We'll check, get things everybody checked out, make sure they're good. Looks like the bike was down the inside of turn 3.
This cold weather, it's really going to start throwing, like I mentioned earlier with the goggles fogging up. You see Dave Kilkenny, he's actually got a breath guard on, which is keeping that shield from fogging up. But a lot of these riders, some of them are going to have to start with their shield cracked and down the backstretch on the first lap, close that thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, the people between run the shield and the goggles. You know, the goggles you can kind of take out fan a little bit, get them to clear out the face shield. There's not as much you can do. You can flip it up, and then you just hopefully have enough time for it to clear off.
Yeah, I'd almost rather have the face shield so then you can have the option of closing it, whereas as soon as the goggles, you have to put those on and get ready for the race. But, I mean, like what Andrew said, the tire warmers, a huge factor tonight. The track cooling down, 43 degrees out, the track's going to keep getting slicker and slicker, so it's really going to start testing these setups and testing these tuners to make sure they can get the front ends handling well. Yeah,
and the good news is the rider that went down in turn 3 is up to his feet. The crew came over, checked him out. He's shaking things off. He's up walking around. So we're going to line him back up. Racing incident's going to happen. It's slick out. They know that they have to make it happen quick with these main events. And when they go into it, sometimes the track's just not going to have the traction they thought they had. And looks like they're going to try to remount, see if they'll let him back in the race. We're not sure if they're going to get him back in line here or not.
It's been a long time since some of these guys have been on the racetrack, too.
It has, especially the ones that qualified right out of the heat. The sun is totally gone now. I think when we started these qualifiers, still a little bit of sunlight out there. So
we're missing 20 degrees too.
The 20 degrees went away quickly, and yeah, although it's not balmy in the booth, it's definitely warmer in here than it is outside. So we give credit to Jen Lewis calling things from trackside.
And that looks like it was the number 12 of Marcus Ricketts that did go down. Fortunately, he is okay. He is up. Just had to catch his breath over there.
That's it. I'm going to tell you, the ground's not soft. He's bounced a little bit, and they're going to put him back on the back row for going down.
And he wants to get back in that starting spot. He is ready to go back racing. The ground's probably even a little harder with it this cold out.
Yeah, and then the body, when you're a little tight, the muscles tighten up, you definitely feel a little bit more when you do hit the ground out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get ready to restack them with Davey Durrell sitting on pole. Let's see if Dave Kilkenny is able to do something with him off the start.
Yeah, Kilkenny's going to have to get a little better jump, but Durrell is smooth and calculated on the outside. He's got that bike set up well and years of experience. But these two seem to show that they are going to be the ones out in 1 and 2. Let's see if they can duplicate that start.
And right there, Davey Durrell keeping that shield up until the absolute last second. It's a big factor tonight. This is huge.
It's huge. You watch it. Most of them have it cracked just slightly, but you can see it fogging up. If you look right now, he's fogging up. If he gets some airflow, he should be clear by the first turn, but that's the roll of the dice.
Yep, and absolutely able to get another good start with Davey Durrell leading us through 1 and 2, Dave Kilkenny in second, and we have Boyle in third.
And that looks like it's Dan Peterson, number 77, dropping in the 4th place. So let's see if Durrell's going to try to set sail and break free of Kilkenny a little bit quicker, and we'll see how things shape out from there.
These guys are battling for the first Group 2 main event podium spot here tonight, looking to get those cool plaques that Cory Texter's Promotions has provided, and Davey Durrell is starting to walk away with this thing.
Yeah, Durrell's setting some times that are giving him a little gap as he's pulling away from Kilkenny. But the 27 of Greg Boyle is knocking on the door of Dave Kilkenny. See if he can make his way through. He probably not going to work his way up to Davey Durrell, but he definitely liked the second over the third.
And yeah, Davey Durrell's running about 0.2 of a second a lap faster, which is adding up quickly in this 6-lap main event.
Yeah, it does. On a short track like this, those 0.2 give some room, and it looks like Kilkenny got loose coming through 3 and 4, opened the door, and that allowed Greg Boyle, Dan Peterson to go that second and third spot.
I'm not sure if he can see because it looked like he lifted that shield up down that front straightaway after that big mistake, so there's a chance he is fogged up.
Yeah, and that's something they're going to have to go back, get the no fog cloth, the no fog spray, or maybe switch up to a different
I
setup.
always had to grab like duct tape, and I made my own breath cup.
Oh, yeah.
Uncomfortable, but unorthodox, uncomfortable, but it did work, and that's something that a lot of people are going to have to do because that's something that you don't think about coming down south like this. You expect it to be warm, but final lap coming to the checkered flag, it will be maybe no. I think the scoreboard's just a little off right now. I guess we will be doing 10-lap main events just like earlier on in the day. That's what I thought we would be doing. So Davey Durrell past the halfway point, leading this main event. A good sizable gap back to Greg Boyle in second from local down here in Florida, and Dan Peterson on that KTM running in third.
We got Durrell doing what he's done most of the day. Gets out front, hits his marks. He goes up on some back markers. He does not have the pressure behind him, so he doesn't have to force his way through lappers. But he also can't. He can't just take his time because they could close up.
There's a gaggle of them though. It's never good when there's this many. We're coming to the white flag now, lap 9 of 10, and there is an absolute gaggle of them, and he's able to get by 2, and he should have smooth sailing here to the finish line.
And that's all he needs, and we got some riders that are aware of him come through, so they move out of the way as Davey Durrell comes around. Take your checkered flag for the first main event win of round 1 of racing for Group 2 here at the Winter Throwdown. Davey Durrell, Winter Throwdown champion for what would be normally night 1 in this 50-plus class.
Dave Kilkenny ends up coming down a little bit. 150 of Scott Shaheen ends up on the raw end of that deal, getting a bad start just because he has to back out of it. But I do love those gold wheels on that Honda.
It is sharp.
And Davey Durrell able to now go back, talk to his son, and be like, hey, buddy, we got to do something because we're fogging up.
And that's when you go back and talk to his son, because his son is next up.
Absolutely.
His son is in the 250 amateur class. So see if you can get a word to him. Otherwise, you have to think that that young Camlin Durrell was paying attention to his dad out there in the lines he was hitting.
Mm-hmm.